shout out to the Dub. Hey,
watch this.
Hey, number one Dub.
Football talk is a big hit. Sunday nights to Wednesday nights, we striking a match cause we lit. Y'all know the name, we call it the Dub. On Friday nights, it feel like a club. Getting that VIP treatment on the sideline, they showing us love. Great interviews, go hugs, putting in work, go good. Texas youth and high school talking to page on Facebook, hold up. Coach trying to stand on the scene, giving advice, he do what he mean. Jay Mack, he be on the scene, rocking the gear, it's so clean. We guys and go easy, I think easy for cheesy. With my steppers, our special gifts, making fixing so easy. Trying to win, we so greedy. All my fans are so needy, cause they need to hear them talk about that club. We do it for the dub. 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 That GF dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. That GF dub.
Welcome to the Dub, number one high school podcast starring Pat O'Teasy, Jeremy McInnes, Coach Carr, and Brian Reiser.
Well, all right. What's happening? What's going on? Welcome to the number one talk show. Speak out. Speak out. Speak out. Speak out. Speak out. Speak out.
On to the next round. Salute. Get ready.
Dub salute. Hey.
My boys.
Salute. What it do, fellas? We here, man. It's Sunday night, man. I'm hyped and I'm tired at the same time. What's happening, B Rise, man? We got to talk some recruiting, man. What's going on, B Rise?
Oh, it's good, man. I was gonna ask Jay, do you ever keep up with what number episode you on Sunday nights, or they just on Wednesday? You know, episode
that's on Wednesday, dog. I ain't gonna keep up, but we can't be too far behind them. We probably ahead of them.
You know what number you on?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Don't get me lying.
All right.
Shout out, Coach Clark.
What's happening, fellas? What's going on with it?
Hey, man, we got to talk about this later, man.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this. We got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. My man hanging out at the soccer bar, man. He got the soccer. But anyway, we going to bring on the homie GP, man. We got an OG in the house tonight. You know what I'm saying? Got an OG. He going to talk to us about some of the big time prospects and recruits we got in the Dub. And we'll probably ask around the state, too, because I need to know a little bit more about this Black Jesus. You got to know about Black Jesus. Is he really like that? My God, GP, what's happening?
What's going on?
What up? What up?
Hey, man, just having a good time, man. Glad, super happy, man. Appreciative that you stopped by, holler at us, man. How you been?
Good, man. It was a great day today. The Under Armour camp was in Dallas up at Melissa. A lot of top talent out there. Of course, most of the guys was from the DFW, so it was a good time getting to see some of the top ballers in the area, plus, hanging out with some of the homies that were at the camp. You know, not too often do a lot of the friends get in this business have a chance to get together and hang out. So, I mean, it's always good to see all the coaches and all the friends in the media at those type of events.
Absolutely, man. That is a good time. Man. You get to just hang out with the homies, watching some football, some type of football, whatever it is. It's always a good thing. Always. I agree. But you was out there, man. I'm gonna start off with that. Just what kind of stood out with you? What was your overall thoughts of the UA camp in Dallas? Before I let my guys ask you something.
Well, I mean, I thought Felix Ojo from Mansfield Lake Ridge was the MVP of the camp. I mean, he's a true left tackle, probably 6'6", 275 pounds on the eyeball test. I don't know what his exact measurements are out of that camp today, but a massive wingspan, great footwork, is really able to mirror defensive ends and provide that protection you're looking for out of a guy that can protect the quarterback's blind side. And I love that about his game. To me, the offensive line group was really strong from top to bottom in general because Zayden Crimpin he was the state's most offered player with 51 offers before Ethan Feaster reclassified to the 2026 class. I think Ethan has 52 and Zayden has 51. I only count the FBS offers, so I'll have to go and make sure that we tally those up correctly to see who's the top guy. most offered guy in the 2026 cycle now. But I was impressed by Crimpin. I think he could play anywhere up front, center, guard, tackle, right tackle, left tackle. I like that about his game. Noah Best from Midlothian was really good. Brian Swanson from South Oak Cliff. Cole Seaton from Mesquite Horn jumped out to me. And then, of course, Annis Peyton Miller took home O-line MVP honors, a 2027 kid who started as a freshman. As a matter of fact, the first time he ever had to block somebody, it was Nigel Smith in a scrimmage that was going to OU. So battle tested against some of the top guys in the state, and he took home that hardware today. That was a big honor for him.
Oh, wow. That is a lot, man. And speaking, you brought up Boogie, man. I just wondered, so you feel like he's reclassifying that he's pretty much gonna fit in just fine in that 2026 class, and how would you, or have you thought about it yet, put him in that 2026 class rankings as far as wide receivers or overall prospect? I know you. I know me personally. I love the boy kid at South Lake. I just think that dude is legit, as legit as it comes. But how do you see with Feaster reclassifying? How did he fit in that class?
So Feaster was the youngest 5-star ever in Dave Campbell's prospect rankings. We made him a 5-star whenever he was still a freshman. So his reclassification is significant from that standpoint for us, because he will have to slide in to the 2026 rankings, which, he's a year younger in that class compared to some of his peers. So that will change potentially where he fits in, because I had him slotted in my mind as definitely one of those top 5 guys. Now we'll have to reassess that into the class of 2026. If I'm in the Ethan Feaster camp and I'm worried about rankings, I would probably caution them not to really be worried about rankings. He's one of the most offered players in the country. I think that some services are going to have him as a 5-star recruit. He really, really passes the eyeball test. Even just looking through some of the photos from today's camp, Feaster is one of the most physically impressive guys out there, regardless of position. And I think he's got a very high ceiling. He still has some developmental areas to work on and refine his game. But to me, that's a bonus, because I think that he will make those strides. He's always been a guy that shows up early and goes to work. And I like that about his game as well. So I think Feaster's going to be good. 50 offers. He's going to get a good NIL deal, and he's going to have somewhere really nice to play in college. The question is going to be is, can that school keep him probably when he gets there? I think he'll be successful when he arrives.
Oh, wow. Okay, B-Rise, Willow.
I yield to the gentleman from Maceo Smith.
Smart man, Willow, smart man. But as far as your race go, I got a question. I guess.
Hold on, wait a minute. Did you say race?
I said rating. My bad, rating.
Okay. No, I didn't know where we was going with this. So
my bad. No, rating. Not no.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Y'all ain't going there. No. But I was gonna say, how much do you count in like actual game film as far as your ratings are concerned? Besides more so on the 707 compared to the game film, because we have seen players with lower rating, like a 3-star, who have been more productive than a 4 or 5-star. So is it more so based on dimensions, or like what are you draw off of?
I try to explain the rankings process as I've understood it over the years. I started ranking players in Texas back in 2007, 2008. I did my first rankings back in 2004. Every recruitment that I've covered from a media perspective has been pretty unique and individual. They've all been different for a different player. And I look at the talents the same way. You really have to look at each one individually, right? Because some guys aren't afforded the luxury of having great tape if they're a receiver and their quarterback can't get them the rock, or they're an offensive lineman that's stuck playing in the slot T and they're diving around all the time. It's just harder to evaluate some of those guys. So when you have a chance to see them in a camp setting, you have to use it to your advantage. But I'd say game tape is probably the main thing. Going out to games, we go out to see as many games as we can. And because, we're a smaller, at Dave Campbell's, we're a smaller kind of family-oriented media company, we have to use our network of coaches and network of people to tap into that. We collect questionnaires from all the coaches throughout the course of the season, hear what they have to say about their players. And it kind of starts there and grows. I collect in a ton of like recruiting spreadsheets from all the top high schools in the state and start to make a list, right? You start to make a list and it starts off really big and you start to pare it down as you get into like magazine season for us. We're trying to put the top 300 recruits in that magazine in any class. And that's what I'm trying to get it down to in my mind, because that's the number, right? The top 300 is what I'm trying to get it down to. So all the players in the state, trying to get as much information in, watch and see as much as you can, and try to settle on a top 300. And it can be really tough because Texas is loaded.
Absolutely.
And it's and as far as I guess a player going from a 5-star to a 4-star, does just in your opinion, does that affect their bottom line? Does that affect the NIL as far as the 4, 5, 3 stars? Do they have effect on the
Yeah, I think it does. I also think it depends on when it happens, right? Like if you've already negotiated your deal, you committed when you were a 5-star and you get lowered to a 4-star, I doubt that there's too many colleges that are going to come back on you and say, hey, we need to renegotiate this because now one of these services have rated you lower. Now, anything's possible. As if you guys are getting any of the behind-the-scenes stories of what kind of goes on in today's college football recruiting, it can be pretty wild. I mean, it's a negotiation. It's a business. And I think that's something like that's a word of caution to some of the players and parents that are about to go through it, is there's like a certain business aspect and it's ramping up every year as people get more comfortable with the process. It becomes more and more business-like with each class. So it is something that you definitely need to be aware of. Understand where you're at in the marketplace and understand where your bargaining power is. But in this game, I feel like you can feel it. You can feel those colleges who are real serious about you based on their communication. If somebody falls off with you in recruiting, man, there's a reason. And it happens instantaneously, like, oh, well, so-and-so didn't text me back right away. He's always texting me back right away. Why didn't he text me back right away? It's the same thing of all the other games that you might play in life. You can notice it and you can feel it, I feel like.
Yes, sir. That's all I got.
Well, Coach, I know you want to talk to him.
Well, no, I got a question. Who was your biggest I told you so? Like the dude where you was like, yo, he gonna be cold, but everybody else is like, nah. And then he turned out to be as good as you thought he was.
It's a layup for me, Patrick Mahomes. It's a layup. So interestingly, I was back at the time, scout.com, before it got acquired by 24/7 Sports. We were doing our rankings back then, and we were the only site that had Patrick Mahomes as a 4-star. So I got some good ink on that back in the day, and I got a nice story written in the New York Times and Bleacher Report about how everybody missed on Patrick Mahomes but us. So that was pretty cool. So I definitely, every time he does something cool in the NFL, I get a smile on my face because that was one of the ones. Now, don't ask me about those misses now.
Well, hold on. We're gonna get to the misses. We can't celebrate the winners without celebrating the losers.
Oh,
all right. So who's the loser?
Oh, man, there's been a bunch. I mean, there's been a bunch over the years.
Just one where you was like, "Ooh, I told you so." Nobody wanted to listen. I want that guy.
No, the biggest loser for me was Kendall Hawk Jones from Killeen Shoemaker. He was a giant, 6'5", 370-pound defensive tackle. They were really good. They made it to AT&T Stadium one year, and Kendall was a massive, massive player. And I wanted to really stick by my evaluation on him. I made him a 5-star early. I really believed in him, and I stuck by it, man. But he just didn't have the success. He signed with Alabama. Things were looking good. But he just never got off to the right start on his career, and he never really became a thing. So that was one of the biggest misses. And I would say one of the ones that I probably catch the hardest time about, and I say this ain't a big miss. It's a big miss now in the scope of what has happened. Tony Brown being rated over Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett was second and Tony Brown was first. And Tony Brown's the fastest dude I might have ever seen. He was a blazer from down in Beaumont. Been playing in the league. But Myles Garrett's Myles Garrett, y'all. So, I mean, it is what it is.
All right. So clearly you missed on D lineman. So we gonna
You can put Omari Abor in that group too.
Hey. I know it's bad in his family, they're my people. So but I'm gonna give you something to look at when you start evaluating D-line. Two things, right? If they are 370 pounds in high school, chances are they're never going to make it. Okay, guys who are that big for a reason, and they're never going to stop being that big. It's a discipline problem. You know what I'm saying? So even I like when I recruit guys, like I can't recruit a guy like that. Cause no, look at him like we do it anyway because they say we rather miss on size than miss on than, you know what I mean? So and it always work out that way. Now, the other thing, if a cat is 6'5", 240, can dunk, can hoop, can dribble, can pass the ball, can play basketball, and he's also a defensive end, chances are he'd be the best player on the field. So don't ever, whenever you look at a guy like Myles Garrett, you find out he hoop, you can't miss him. And I understand speed, so let me tell you about speed. Speed to get you fired. So everybody wants that speed guy that can take the top off the defense, and that's cool. But if you throw the ball to him 3 times and he catch it 1 time, what we doing? You're gonna be mad 2 out of 3 times. That's a failure. So unless he's a baseball player, he's athletic, he plays more than one sport, and he's fast, chances are he's a better athlete. So that's just 2 things, 3 things right there. But I love your work, so I'm gonna continue to follow.
I appreciate that, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about something on size too. When you are in high school, and that's one of the trickiest things about doing rankings. Player rankings, are tough because dudes change, their bodies change. They are what they are when they're sophomores, and they are what they are when they're sophomores in college. So a lot of that changes. But one of the biggest things that I think you can have a bias for is a bias towards size, because you gravitate towards it in high school, especially because those dudes are so much better than everybody else at that time because they're bigger and they're stronger, and that's something that you really have to try to learn to deal with when you're ranking these players is are they maxed out on their potential? And it's a lesson, man. Like, it is a lesson every year, and the game changes in such a way in college and in the pros, and it trickles down to high school, that you just have to stay on your toes with those changes, because they're recruiting as 3-4 ends now. Those were the defensive tackles of yesterday. So I mean, there's just a lot changes in the game, and you just do your best to try to stay on top of it, I guess.
Yeah, Greg, I'm sorry, man. Jason Todd is in the chat being unruly. So whatever you do, don't look at the chat. It's in the chat. Okay? Stay
him and Lamar, man. Him and Cortez Regal, dad, is some unruly characters.
Yeah.
They think they in the streets. They try some racketeering, but it ain't gonna work. We don't deal with terrorists over here. Okay. we don't pay for protection. This is Texas. But anyway, you done with all before I get back to this MVP?
Yeah, talk? I'm done right now.
Right now.
I need to go in the chats and have a good time. You know, I'm done, man. I'm done. Oh, I do got one more question though, GP. I got one more question. Right now, this year, who is your number one player in the country? I mean, number one player in the state.
We have Keyshawn Henderson rated as the number one guy right now, quarterback athlete from the Legacy School down in the Houston area. Committed to Houston. He's the highest rated Houston offensive commit of all time, and outranks Ed Oliver by one spot. So, and Felix Ojo, who was the O-line MVP at the camp today, he's number 2. So it's a neck and neck race, I feel like. But in this class, I'm telling y'all, it's close. Number 25 could be number 1 in this class. This is as close as I've seen that variance from number 1 to number 25. It's a very closely stacked up class, and I think that you're going to see a lot of different players be number 1 throughout the course of the rankings year on some of the national networks like 24/7 Sports, On3, and Rivals. I think that you're going to see an interesting rankings year, in my opinion.
Hey, I got a surprise for you, man. This is going to be mine. Mr. Cardell over there at SOP, number 0, defensive tackle. He'll be the number 1 defensive lineman in the state by the end of the year.
He's definitely one of the biggest sleepers right now, regardless. I thought that he was really impressive. And Swanson looked pretty good today at the UA camp, but I agree with you. I thought that he was one of the more under the radar guys that I watched last year, and I do think that he's about to blow up with some recruiting attention. I mean, they're hitting the reset button a little bit. There's some talent over there.
All right, listen to me, G. I got you. Continue. Put that man on. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. I sat there and watched him in a stretch from the playoffs be the best player on that field on both sides of the ball from both teams. He took games over. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a defensive lineman like that can do that, like those dudes don't come around very often.
Now hang on, Coach. I got to ask you something. I feel like you were putting me on to him during the season.
I've been trying to get you on him. We stood outside. What stadium we stayed out of? What stadium was that?
I think we were at AT&T.
Yes. I'm trying to tell you, man. I am telling you. And listen.
Pitch before, and I believe it.
Okay, so listen. This is coming from a guy who said back in junior college, when Randy Gregory was in junior college and I coached him, I said he'll be one of the top 5 draft picks in the draft. And even if he wouldn't have had his little issue, he would have. So and this is from a guy that coached Frank Clark and signed Rashawn Gary. So I'm telling you, man, this dude is gonna be special. Special. He's different.
Well, I'm gonna mark it down, and I'll tell you what, we'll get his profile on Dave Campbell's, and then we'll credit you for it. We'll have it up there by tomorrow.
There you go. I'm telling you, he's gonna be special, Jay. I'm telling you. That dude is good. He's really, really good. Fundamentally sound. He's still learning how to play the game. But, man, he can go.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing their defense, too, over there next year because it was pretty good this year, but I think they'll be even better next year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man.
You know what, Greg? Speaking of ratings and players, you don't got to say a name, obviously, but have you ever seen a player like with a 3 or 4 5-star in person? Because I know we have, but I'm like, man, they getting a little bit of foes out there. Hey, do you see that quite a bit as well? Like, man, that's such and such, man. He's a 3-star, 4-star, but man, he getting ate up by such and such who don't got no stars. How often do you?
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. There's guys.
We see it all the time. We see it week by week. Willow, we see it every week. Like, man, we see it all the time.
Well, I think that's just speaks to the talent level. I mean, I had a college coach tell me one time, 2 inches too short, 2 inches to the left, 2 inches to the right, and they can't play for us. And they said what it comes down to is 2 inches. And I think that's what it – and that's – and those guys – and their guys are out there, man. They're – and in this recruiting process now, you're going to see guys that make official visits that nobody's even heard of. They're not even rated yet because recruiting is moving up at such a quick speed. These colleges are going to be ahead of the services is because they have to be. They have to be in front of the services because they have to book these trips. They have to get these kids on campus. And the services are having to be beholden to National Signing Day dates and working around that. So the colleges are now going to be in front of the media. So that's something to watch for in recruiting as it relates to, rankings and that kind of stuff, because now you're going to see it be about 2 months behind. And these guys that you're seeing commit to some of these schools, nobody really knows that much about them. They're going to start getting rated high. And you're like, oh, where did this guy come from? He committed to Texas. Well, yeah, he got rated high, committed to Texas, but they haven't evaluated these guys yet. This is still February, and guys are coming off the board like crazy right now.
Well, you got to think about it too, though, man. I mean, I think that's one of the things that really is interesting for Booby is, yes, he's still going to get those scholarships to go wherever he wants to, but he's essentially jumping ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, okay, let me go and get started now. It puts me closer to the NFL, right? It puts me closer to the NIL. You know what I mean? So it puts him closer to a lot of things for a longer period of time. You know what I mean? So him as a junior coming out after being in college for 3 years, he's what, 20? So you got a 20-year-old junior. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That you can put in the NFL and groom him all the way through. So it has its pros for sure. I like it, man. I think where you see it going, Greg, do you see that starting to be the trend where some guys are moving up essentially? I mean, down essentially, because most times you see guys, leveling up. Like if they was in 26, go to 27. Now you're seeing a guy at 27 go to 26. Do you think that'll be the new trend?
I think for the elite guys, like some elite guys, you've heard it nationally more so. But here in the last couple of years, you had Max Granville last year who reclassed a year early and got his jump start on Penn State. And I think that'll benefit him going into this year, because they lose Abdul Carter and they're going to need somebody off the edge at Penn State. And now Max has been there for a whole year, learning the system, and he did leave early. And, Quinn Ewers left a year early, and now you have Ethan Feaster leaving a year early. And I don't think that without knowing the entire situation of what's going on behind the scenes that you could fairly judge it, from a family situation, from a school situation, all that. Obviously, he's academically got his ducks in a row to be able to reclassify. And I would say I support that because when he gets to college, he's going to get college coaching. I mean, Ohio State, one of the schools that he's considering, hired Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator there. So, I mean, things are changing in college football. These guys are getting – Bill Belichick's a head coach. These guys are going to start getting NFL training in college. And I wouldn't begrudge anybody that opportunity. I'm for NIL and I'm for supporting players to get paid. And if they can do it quicker, I'm about it. That's how I see it. And I want him to be successful. I want him to have success. I like him. He's always been really gracious with me. And so we'll be rooting for him and stuff when he gets off to college. And I think that he will be successful. So I say that from that standpoint. I think that he will be successful. He can be successful, and I celebrate his opportunity to be able to do it a year early.
But here's the other thing to it too. And this is my last question, J-Man, is how do you see that now affecting the transfer rule in high school? Because it is such a business moving forward. You know what I'm saying? How do you think that affect kids wanting to be in a better situation to help them basically develop into that type of position?
Now you're getting me into some more tricky territory with the transfer stuff, Coach. So I'll be careful with what I say, but I support players is the best way for me to say it.
Say less. Say less. I don't want you to get no more. We good. I understood it right there. Boom.
I want the players to be. I cover the players. I want the players to be successful.
Right.
I get it. That definitely makes sense. I got a couple players I want to ask you about. I know you got to get out of here, so a couple players I want to ask you about comparison, because you brought up the Lake Ridge offensive tackle. Me personally, I like the North Carolina offensive tackle. I think that kid is gonna be legit. How do you compare those two? Because even in your rankings, you have the Lake Ridge. Is that out for just size, or how do you see that comparison?
I think as a projection for Ojo right now, he's so long, he's so big. When I look at Turntine at North Crowley, I think that he's probably one of the most athletic guys on tape that I've seen in recent memory. He moves extremely well. He gets to the second level. I think Ojo's maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit longer than him right now. But what I like about Turntine is I think that he could kick inside. I think he'd be a heck of a center. I really think he'd be good at that spot. So if he moves inside, what's the value there in the prospect rankings? Is it different than a tackle? Probably so, probably by a small degree. But when you're dissecting game film, I think that you're going to pop on those two game films and you're going to watch full games, not just as highlights. If you watch the full games, I think that you would walk away from that saying Turntine is a little bit more consistent in all phases of the game than what Ojo is right now. But as you project them out to the long term, which player has a higher ceiling? I think Ojo could be one of those guys that develops into a first-round NFL pick one day, and I think that's why I give him an ever so slight edge. But you're splitting hairs when you're talking about the number 2 and the number 4 player. In this. I mean, they're both high, right? They're both really, really high. I think they're both good.
Absolutely. I noticed you had as one of your standout players was the defensive end from Duncanville, Barnes, the Landon Barnes guy. I think he's like a 3-star. And to me, I thought he was probably the best defensive end on the team this past year. Just when you want to watch the games. How do you see him now? Do you see him staying a 3-star? Do you see he probably go up? Or what is it about him that impressed you so much today? You mute.
There we go. My headphones went dead. Were you talking about Barnes?
Yeah, Landon Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes, I think, is a freak, man. He's going to be rated high. Top 25 player in the state, top 30. Where he falls in that, I don't know. He can do some stuff that not a lot of guys can do. Some of the things that have impressed me on some of his practice tape and stuff is just his ability to turn and run with running backs coming out of the backfield. He can move like no other. I think that he has a chance. He's my pick out of this camp, like today and maybe in the state. Out of that guy who really these big services aren't on yet, I think he could end up being like a top 5 guy on some of those sites because he's such an athletic freak. And I think people are just going to be more and more impressed with him the more they see him. We're in that window right now, but I think he could end up being like, oh, wow, this guy came out of nowhere. Where'd he come from? I guess we can say we knew about him first at that point. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I do too, man. I remember seeing him on like a freshman highlight, and I was like, man, who's this kid? But yeah, he growing into a grown man. He look like he's already entering his grown man body.
Yeah.
He's looking big, man. And real quick, Braylon Edwards, man, my guy, the DB at Duncanville. He don't do a lot of camps, don't do the 7-on-7 circuit or nothing like that. But when you go on Friday nights, you notice Braylon Edwards. How do you go about ranking somebody like Braylon?
DCTF Rising freshman top 25, DCTF Rising top 50 sophomore. He'll be in the top 100 as a junior. I love Braylon Edwards. I mean, from the word jump, he's been a really good player. When he was at Wilmer Hutchins, he was the guy like right out of the gate. I thought it was big news whenever he transferred to Duncanville for their secondary. I think he's another one of these guys. You know, not a lot of people get to go behind the scenes at Duncanville, right? Like it's a more closely guarded program to recruiting services and stuff like that. Coach Samp runs his program the way he runs it, and I applaud him for that. The way he's done it has been extremely successful. But I like it because it keeps some of these guys under the radar that nobody's talking about, really, you know. And if you know who they are, you know you might have the inside track. But you picked out two of my like favorite under the radar gems. Like the Landon Barnes stuff to me is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I know Georgia offered him now, but the fact that he flew under the radar for so long at Duncanville to me was crazy. And I don't really think people know what Braylon Edwards looks like in person because he's a freak show. Like when you see him, like he's one of those guys that comes off the bus and I feel like colleges would just offer him to me. So, I mean, I've been on him for a while. I really think he's good. I'm glad that I was able to get him on those lists, but Landon was even under the radar, I feel like, more than Braylon was because people knew about Braylon and Landon didn't get a play because, you know, they had all those other great players. So he was like Duncanville this year's got dudes nobody know. Like there's dudes on that team nobody's even heard of before. And they'll be P4 guys. You know, they got 2 or 3 offensive linemen that's been toiling on the JV team that's real good. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah. Another guy, my QB. Oh well, first, how is Tay Ellis progression going over there at Crowley? I think we've been a big Tay Ellis fans over here on the Dub for a while. Was he at the camp today?
He wasn't there, and I got Tay Ellis biased because the game I watched him play in was a North Shore game, and I guess Crowley played one of their best games of the year in that North Shore game. I thought Tay looked really good. I thought Brandon Ford looked amazing in that game. I really like Tay. He's probably up to 30-something offers now. So, I mean, he'll be one of those top guys in that class for sure. And, you know, I got to tip my cap. If we're talking Crowley, I got to say what's up to Coach Lynn. He's always treated me so good over the years. And if I wasn't saying what's up to Coach Lynn in case he's watching, I'd feel bad about it. So what's up, Coach?
Yes, sir. Coach Lynn. Shout out to Coach Lynn. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Ford because I think Ford is probably one of the best DBs in the state, man. That dude right there. Every time I go to a Crowley game, he does something. Like I think Brandon Ford is legit. I think K-State, if they can hold on to him, they got to steal. I don't know if they're gonna be able to hold on to him, but it's just
not the most K-State player ever, though. Like when you think about K-State, you think about guys like Brandon Ford.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think about my quarterback at Southlake, Angelo Render? I like that kid, man. Like he scored 1 touchdown. If y'all know, if you remember, B. Rise when he scored, and he came over to us and he said something to the defense when he was scoring, like he was just like touchdown or something. And I was like, "Hey man, is it like that?" And he looked at me, he said, "Come on, man." Like that dude swag, man. That dude swag.
I remember what game was that?
That was the Hebron game.
It sure was.
Like that dude swag is off the chain, but I know he committed earlier a few months ago. But what's your opinion on him?
Man, his athleticism surprised me. I didn't know he had it like that. You know, I think he rushed for as many yards as he threw for last year, or just about. And I think his touchdown totals were very close. That Southlake team to me is that's a scary team heading into next year because they have a lot of what you're looking for. They're returning really good offensive linemen. To me, they have the premier playmaking wide receiver in the state in Brock Boyd. And they got a dual threat. You don't think about Southlake having a dual threat at quarterback, and they do. And they got, they got that running back coming back off injury, Davis Penn. So, I mean, their offense to me is shaping up to be really nice. And last year on defense, I think they had to replace all 11 starters heading into that year.
Yeah,
I could be wrong about that, but I think that they replaced most of those guys. So they should have some experience coming back. And with a seasoned vet under center now with Renda, I think they got half a chance. And I like what he's bringing to the table. I think it was smart of him to commit to Pitt when he did. But I think Pitt got a good getting him from Texas high school football, a guy that can come in and make their quarterback room better.
Yeah, I like him. That's why I was wondering. That's why I was wondering what's your opinion of him, because I think when I'm looking at the QBs especially in DFW, I mean you have to put him right up there, right, with Zandre or hell, who else left well, your opinion on Watson Hatcher quarterback too before we get out of here. What's your opinion on Watson Hatcher quarterback?
Well, I didn't get to watch him because he was hurt in person. I've watched his tape, and I know that he played through a little bit of a shoulder injury. Of course, what I saw on his stuff from Nevada before he came, I thought was amazing. So most of my research on him really dates back to that, and I haven't really had a chance to see him do too much in Texas that I got to watch with my own two eyes. So I'm still excited to see him through the spring. Like, I think he's one that's important for me to see, like at the Elite 11 or something like that, where I can see him throwing alongside some of those other guys. But if he's still nursing an injury to his throwing arm, then, he may not be at some of those camps. We may have to wait into next season before we really get a good look at him. And good news for him, he's still got a couple years left. But for me personally, I'm holding off on him. We rated him as a 4-star off of what he was bringing from another state, and it looked pretty good. And I stand by that till we either see something that needs us to lower him down outside the top 50 or leave him within that top 50. And at Dave Campbell's, it makes it simple. The top 5 players, they'll be 5 stars, and the next 45 will be the 4 stars. So there's a number cap on it. So if you ask me what a 5-star is, I can say, hey, he's in the top 5. Or if you ask me what a 4-star is, I can say he's in the top 50.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, let's welcome Mark Henry, man. What's happening, Mark?
Man, what's happening with you, man? What's going on?
My man GP, he kind of passing the baton off to Mark, man. So
Man,
if anything, got any last words for my guy GP, man?
Man, listen, one of the best guys in the game, man. A good friend, a guy that I've been knowing for a while. If you want to know about Texas high school football, he's one of those guys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that, Mark.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. That's what I love. That's why I'm trying to. Because GP, he's been baptized into the dub 15 minutes. But
oh man, come on! You can't keep him on the midnight.
I know how the show goes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You muted, Willow.
I was going to say, GP, it might be best that you go, because the way Todd acting tonight, just somebody get off the chain.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to be associated with the foolishness, man.
Well, I appreciate y'all.
But you're more than welcome to stay, though.
GP,
right,
hey,
I'll let Mark hold it down for me.
Yes, sir. We want to get GP back on, so we're gonna let him on because I told him 15, but he got the dub 15.
Yeah.
I
appreciate it, GP.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Mark?
My boy Mark, what up, fam?
Man, just maintaining, baby. You know what it is. It's off season, so I'm here and there, everywhere. Doing a little bit of this, doing a little bit of that.
Oh shit! What the fuck? Uh-oh.
Well, he been off 45 seconds. He's already.
GP, boy, so does company lead. I swear they just can't wait, man. They just can't wait.
45 seconds. God.
Soon as the company lead. But hey, man.
My bad. I just tried to. Dolomite surprised me. I didn't know Dolomite was showing up. I didn't know. My bad. My bad.
Hey. So you was at the under on the count, man. Give us your rundown. Kind of give us your opinion of how it went, some names, stuff like that before we start throwing some stuff out for you.
I'll start with the MVPs. That's what I kind of sent you. You can go on the platform.dr.com.
Talk up a little louder, Mark. Can
you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay.
Peyton Houston from Evangel Christian in Shreveport, Louisiana, came out with the quarterback MVP class 2027. If you've been following high school football nationally, this guy had the most yards in one game, 817 yards down in Shreveport, Louisiana. He's a 2027 guy. He looked the best, just flat out spinning it today. Just was in rhythm with all of his throws on point. I mean, just I had a chance to meet him down at a Baylor camp when he was in the 7th grade, and his maturity and his game has just flourished every time I've seen him. And in my opinion, he was the best quarterback. I was glad he won the MVP. I thought that he really, really performed at a top notch level, and he was the best quarterback there today. Felix Ojo, the Mansfield Legacy standout, 2026, was the overall MVP. I believe he got an invite to the All American game. 6'7", probably about 285. Just, I mean, he's one. His body is like one of those tackles, the modern day tackles. Just lean, no body fat, skinny ankles, great length. I mean, he plays with a mean streak. B Rise, that's one of your guys over at Mansfield Legacy, man. He's shooting up as one of the top. Say it again.
Hey,
Can you
Go
hear
ahead,
me?
Mark. Go ahead. No, go ahead,
Okay,
Mark.
okay, for sure. Yeah, Felix Ojo had a great camp. He was the overall MVP. He got an invite to the All American game as well. 6'7", just one of those guys, like you like in the trenches to be, very athletic. You can get out to the second level real easy, but just a mean streak. He didn't hardly lose a rep. And that's the reason he won that particular award. Zane Rowe, class 2027, Denton Guy High School. We're talking about a guy that's about 6'5", probably about 230, 240. He's a young pup, but he's a guy that was committed to the University of Oklahoma as a freshman. But he's starting to heat up around the country. He's a national recruit. That guy 2027 class is probably going to be one of the best classes. I think I'm not saying they'll win state, but they'll make a state run before it's over. They had some guys there that played played very well last year. Kyron Hayward, his running mate down on the D lines of 2027. And Zephyr Cry, the quarterback, should be the starter over there this year. Is the 2027 guy. So DJ Reese also performed very well. He didn't win the MVP, but he was one of the standouts in my eyes from Den Guy. There was a host of guys there that played well or performed well today. And I think that's the reason that they're one of the teams to look at. Before those guys graduate, they should be contending for a state title. Donovan Webb from Frisco Panther Creek's been one of the top DBs in the state since the offseason started. This guy was the MVP of the DB group. Really probably a safety, a guy that can perform in the special teams as well as a returner. But he's the reason with Jalen Lott over there at Frisco Panther Creek. I was very high on that team coming out. They took their lumps with, losses to Solana in the regular season, and they just kind of fell off a little bit. But those two guys were playmakers for Frisco Panther Creek, and Donovan Webb was a big reason they were, very, very good in the secondary. Victor Scott from Lancaster, 2027 running back, took home the MVP at running back. He's a jack of all trades, a guy that can catch it, run it, a guy that can just really get out in space, and he can take it to the house as well. Peyton Miller from Anna won the O-line MVP. He's a 2027 guy. I think that Peyton Miller's just scratching the surface. He's a guy that really, really starting to shoot up the recruiting ranks. A highly recruited guy coming out of the Anna area, in that Texoma area, if you want to call it that. But I think this guy's going to be a national recruit. He's starting to heat up as well. Maximus Corbin was a guy that stood out for the linebacker group and won the MVP from Melissa High School. 6'3", 212, a guy that can run well. He did very, very well in the pass drills, which I think that's what set him apart at the camp today, was his ability to bat down passes and really stick to those running backs in coverage. And then Kenny Darby from Airline High School in Louisiana was the wide receiver MVP. He's probably one of the top 1 or 2, 3 receivers in the state of Louisiana. He showed it today.
Yes, sir. Hey, if everybody go. This is my man. I'm gonna put it on. My man, tell us where to go see you're writing at.
You can go. This particular article's at the platform.drsports.com. This is the website that we have there that covers a little bit of everything from high school to college, 707 as well. When I'm out on the 707 circuit with DR7. But I got some more stuff coming up. I was there covering it for SMU Rivals as well as hornsports.com. So it'll be some more stuff dropping probably in the next 2 days from guys that are headed to those schools or really favored to head to those schools for Texas and SMU. So that's just the first of many. but I wear many hats. So those are just the MVPs that were selected at the Under Armour camp today.
Yes, sir. Now this I thought this you just talked about it, the linebacker from Melissa.
Yep.
That's a big cat, man. What numbers what number was he for Melissa, man? That and to win MVP, that means he has to be extremely athletic. I saw he's a baseball guy too.
Right. And that baseball background, you have to be able to move when you play those outfield positions. Even if you play the hot corner, third base, you have to be able to flip your hips and get that ball out of your hand quickly. And his athleticism in space is one thing that stuck out. And then I mentioned his ability to cover running backs out of the backfield. Some speedy guys there. And he's he had a couple of passes where he knocked them down. And he was just able to move, in the bag drills and 5-10-5, he was able to move very well. Athletic guy, you know what I'm saying? So I expect his offseason to start to blow up real big, coming out of Melissa. Man, nice facilities as well, man. It was cold outside, so we were able to be indoors. Man, if I was a kid, I'd love to play at a place like Melissa. That's a great facility over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You mentioned was there anybody else that wasn't an MVP that you probably took notice that I know I was talking to GP, man. Like how good is Webb, man? This DB at Panther Creek.
Man, I've been on Donovan Webb since he was like a freshman, and his recruiting starting to take off. The rest of the country starting to catch on. But I mean, he's a guy that really, he can play in the nickel. He can play, free safety or in the box safety. He tackles real well. And then I think another thing that people might not talk about with his game is in the return game. You know what I mean? He can actually play on both sides of the ball, but he's going to be a safety on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? He's on the same team with Jaden Lott. So Lott may have gotten more of the fanfare right now because he was the bigger name. But this guy is started to make, since they ended the season, he's starting to move up, you know what I'm saying? And he's been, a double-digit offer guy. He's in the 20s now for offers. So, I mean, he's one of the hottest recruits in the state of Texas right now.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm going to let Willow ask you something. First, I want this to lead into whatever Willow want to talk about. But I asked GP, so I guess I'm going to ask you, man. How do you see the reclassification of Booby moving up to 26? Exactly where do you think that puts him in that ranking? Me personally, like I just told GP, I think Boyd is the best receiver in 2026. Just my opinion. Dude is just the truth, man. I'm sorry. To be that big, that fast, that fluid, like that, it's crazy. So to me, he the top receiver. But just in your opinion, man, what do you see where Booby fits in his new class?
Well, I think it's a great move. If anybody's ready to go to the next level, it's Booby Feaster. Seeing him today, you can tell he's been working on his body. He's just a polished route runner. You know what I mean? And he has great hands. He won multiple reps today. He got an invite to the game. He wasn't the wide receiver MVP, but he got an invite to the All-American game. So
Right.
that was on par to like being an MVP, but he got the invite to the game.
Right.
But I mean, he looks great. I think he's in prime position to be the number one guy at DeSoto. I think it was a great move because maybe not the statistics because he had to share the ball with the other receivers on his team the last 2 years and he wasn't the guy. But I think he'll be ready when it comes to Saturdays. I think he's a guy that's going to have a chance to play early. Now, where he ranks, that's to be seen. I think you have to shuffle the deck a little bit. I agree that Brock Boyd is one of the top receivers in the state of Texas, but I think you move Booby into that top 2 or 3 when he moves into the class, just because of his body of work, his ability to get open. You can throw him the fade ball, you can throw him the jump ball, he can run a slant. He runs every route. You know what I mean? And he has the speed to get deep. He's a polished receiver. And then one thing that I don't think people talk about Booby Feaster is his blocking. Cut the tape on. You know what I'm saying? He's a ferocious blocker as well. So, I when I saw it, I kind of thought, I shook my head. I said, okay, I kind of agree with that because I think that he's ready to take on that challenge. It's almost a case, when guys start to reclass, and it's because they feel like they're ready to go to the next level. It's, some people think it's about, NILs and things like that. I don't see that for Boobie, and knowing his family and knowing him, since the 6th grade. It's about him being ready to go to the next level, and I think he's ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the show, Pat. Willow, you got it?
No, y'all just covered it. What up, Mark? How you doing, baby?
Man, I'm good. Hey, Coach, send me your girls' flag schedule. I've been watching that. You know what I'm saying? I was around when they started the first league in Fort Worth ISD a few years ago, which I think is going into their 4th year, I think. But send me that schedule. I want to come check you out. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's a great job. I know those girls really like that. Actually, Under Armour had a girl camp Friday for flag football. That's kind of taken off. So.
Yeah, man. I definitely will, man. We playing at the Star. You know what I'm saying? We going places some of you other jokers ain't never been. All right. But no, man, we play our first, I want to say our first 5 games at the Star. Okay. And then we got a big tournament at Kincaid. So I definitely get that over to you, man. We starting in March.
No doubt.
Man, it's awesome, man. Them girls are dope.
I know it.
They dope for real, man. They some good girls, man.
No doubt.
Man, I saw. Speaking of that, but I saw. Shout out! Oh, I forgot her name, but she go to Newman Smith, man, and she got invited to the Under Armour camp or something, man. But she like a freshman, man. Oh, man, I forget her name, man. Her mama name is like Vitamin A on X. If everybody's about to know. For the Newman Smith folks. hey, man, I'm telling you, man. When I saw her work, and she's working out with the boys, like over there getting ready for the camp, and you can tell she's an athlete. I think she plays soccer, volleyball, all that. Right. Hey, man, she's good. I forget her name. Oh my God, I hate that.
It's a good sport, man, for girls, man. You'd be surprised, J Mac. Like it's some girls out there. You like, ooh, I wish you was a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like they that cold. You know what I mean? So
it's going to be played in the Olympics as well, and it just hadn't caught on in the
2028.
State of Texas. It hadn't caught on in the state of Texas because the UIL hadn't sanctioned it yet. But in Florida, Georgia, they have state championships, and girls go to college with this now, so it's a chance for them to go to the next
level. So we actually playing for a state championship
for sure.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying, and then like I was telling a lot of girls, I got a young lady, man, who got started in basketball late, but she's like 5'9". You know what I'm saying? And she can run, she's long. And I'm telling her to get into flag football because with her skill set, if she put up numbers,
right,
you know what I'm saying, she can walk right into a scholarship.
Absolutely.
You know, it's big, man. I love it, man. I wanted to be a part of this so bad. It's really cool.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Big Rod, you got anything, man? They talking about you. You know the chat. They don't lay up on you, dog.
I'm good. I don't got nothing right now. I'm good.
Pat Botees, you got anything before I go back to him, man? I want to go over some. I'm gonna go back over some of GP standouts and run about Mark. And get his opinion on him. But what you got before I do it? What you got, Botees?
Well, hey, before y'all move on, man. With who?
With your tardy behind you took Will place today. You took Will place today.
Hey, look, I had a league meeting because we're about to jump in the spring. That meeting started at 7 and didn't end to 8:40. I'm like, good Lord. So yeah, we had a super long meeting. But hey, look out for my kinfolk. I got a kinfolk that's playing at Waxahachie. I just ate dinner with his mom and dad last night. Braylon Davis. He is the number 1 ranked runner in the country in the 200.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know, Brady.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he gonna get busy on that football field this fall, man. He's gonna be an absolute beast out there.
What position he play?
He's gonna be playing some receiver and some DB. So, and look, this is the thing. He played both sides, and they considering heavily letting him play both sides.
Yeah.
So that's my kinfolk. Watch out for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like Hatch. I'll tell you, if Waxahachie, I don't know, maybe you can answer this, but if Waxahachie can get a a really good running back. I feel like they're a running back away.
Yeah.
They just a running game away from really being able to probably win district and go somewhere. It's just they got to find them. There's what I hate to say, cause I don't want to make it like I'm talking about nobody else, but I'm just saying they just need a running back. Just a good one. I'm just saying, man. If baby boy running back and you lease up, pack up the U-Haul, baby, head south. You know what I'm saying?
you know the crazy thing about the running back position. I think a lot of them are playing wide receiver now because you don't have as many juice running backs as you used to. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody think they're a slot receiver now.
Yeah. Well, some teams they got they got plenty of running backs. It's still getting running backs. So
right.
I think parents need to kind of when their leases up, open their eyes and quit chasing. You know what I'm saying? Quit chasing. Chasing the hype and go where it can be needed. That's all I'm saying.
No doubt.
But I think that speaking of running backs, man, the Lancaster kid, I think he was MVP too, right? Now, is he an athlete or a running back? Back to what Pat was saying, because he's listed as an athlete, but is he running back or wide receiver or what?
Well, he took most of his drills today in the running back position. I think he can play on both sides of the football. It depends on where they need him at. But I think he definitely won the running back MVP. He's being recruited as an athlete, but as a running back for what Lancaster has him does, he's one of those guys, and he's only going to be a junior, so he's going to be there 2 more years.
Is that the running back who played when the other running back went down against Longview?
I believe so.
The sophomore running back.
Yeah, he was a sophomore this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But he did well. He caught the ball well. He got through his drills well, and he won against. So he earned himself on the map today.
Okay, so he'll probably play a little bit everywhere. I'm assuming for Lancaster. What they got going on.
Yeah.
Over there. It was another. Oh yeah, this Honey Grove running back, man.
Yes.
Is he really like that? Like Honey Grove ain't that big. Like what is that? Like a 3A school or something?
Yeah, something like that. But he can go. He's I think he's a Baylor committed, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Riley Morris is who you're talking about. Yeah, he's legit. You may not get a chance to see him because it's deep in East Texas, but I've had a chance to see him at a couple of combines and on the 707 circuit. This guy can go, unguardable almost in the slot, and then out of the backfield. In the passing game, he's just too much for linebackers. We're talking about a guy that can get north quick, real quick in space, and then he got a little power to his run game. So he's legit. It's one of those things where you got to go off in deep in East Texas and pull up and see a guy like that. Your Jeffersons, your Dangerfields, your Gilmers, Carthage and places like that. This is where you get every light is off in the except the stadium lights on Friday nights. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those times.
Oh, now how do he compare to the Lone Star running back slot?
You talking about Davion Gross?
Gross, yeah.
Well, Gross is 6'4". Body type is the first thing, you know what I'm saying? Woo. That you'll see that's different. Gross, somebody was asking me this. I was on another show earlier this week, and a friend of mine asked me about this. He's being recruited as a receiver and a running back. He was a second team All-State, if I'm not mistaken, for a kick returner. Gross was for Lone Star. And Lone Star is one of those teams that just can't get over the hump. They got some dudes over there. You know what I'm saying?
You know who this dude remind me of that you talking about? Kid that played at South Lake Charles some years ago. Ended up going to Texas.
Lil Jordan.
Eddie John.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the exact same way. Ended up being a receiver though.
Right.
But he was the exact same way.
Right. Same type of build. And you know, he's got great hands as well. But I mean, the thing that you notice about him is he runs with power between the tackles. You know what I mean? You can't just arm tackle this guy because he's 6'4". You know what I'm saying? And he can get loose. But another guy from Lone Star that stood out was Jordan Deck, the safety as well. He played really well for those guys this year. And Carice Hoyt, he wasn't there today, but coming back for Lone Star is going to be one of those guys. But I'm gonna give you a guy at Lone Star that you might start to hear about in the next couple of years is Trey Wright. He's a 2028 quarterback over there. I'm talking about a tremendous athlete, basketball, baseball, and football. I had a chance to meet him. I have to dig in the archives, but he came to the studio and I interviewed him. I think he was in the 5th grade, and I saw him today, and he can spin it. So they're gonna have a quarterback competition over at Lone Star because Trey Wright is a guy.
That's interesting, man. Anybody else got? Oh yeah, man. I'll just ask. I don't know if I asked him on air behind the scenes, but the kid from Gar, Zane Rowe.
Yes.
Has he moved to DN? Is that what he is now?
Well, I think a majority of the schools are recruiting him as an edge, but he plays tight end as well, and he took some reps at tight end at the on camp today. He can play on both sides of the football. But I really love him as an edge, and he's a great athlete, but as an edge, he's different. You know what I'm saying? 6'5", long, athletic. He got a great first step, and then he's one of those guys that will compete at any. He'll go in the parking lot and compete with you. You know what I'm saying? That's just that ferocious type of acumen when it comes to competing. But he can play on both sides of the football. I don't know if Gary used him at the tight end position very much, but he can play both. When I was met him as a 7th grader, he was playing both sides of the football. But he's like that. He's one of those guys and that's the reason I think that Guy is going to be one of those teams in a couple of years before those guys graduate that'll challenge for a state title.
Talk that talk.
I like that.
Who's your favorite quarterback you've seen so far on the circuit?
I'll tell you the quarterbacks I like today. Kavion Bryant from Westwood in Palestine. I don't know if y'all seen him, but you need to see him. 2027 guy is a dog at basketball. He's getting recruited at basketball by some of the teams that you see in the Final Four, the Kentuckys, the Texases. But I really was impressed with seeing him up close and personal today. DeAndre Williams looked great from Anna today. I will tell you what, guys. Duncanville's got 2 quarterbacks over there that's going to be running neck and neck today. I saw Maximus Denson today, and I know he didn't play a lot this past year, but his body's changed. He was really spinning it today. I really liked his posture. He's gotten bigger physically. Y'all might have to make a trip to Duncanville in the spring to see that quarterback competition over there. Let's see who else.
How do you see that playing out?
I really don't know. I got to see him on the field. Maximus just didn't have the experience. He got a little bit of experience as a freshman, but he didn't play a lot last year. And the other kid, who's a lefty, he looked really good today. Legend Bay looked really good too, spinning it today. I was real impressed. We got a chance to see him throw. Nelson Peterson from Forney looked really, really good throwing the football today. I mentioned Zephyr Cry from Denguy. I thought he looked really, really good spinning it today. Angelo Randa, I heard you talking about him earlier. Looked really good spinning today. I think he committed to Pitt early. But the reason Southlake's going to be, in my opinion, probably a top 2 or 3 team in the state when it come back to the fall is because of Randa, Brock Boyd, and those guys. And, they got Davis Penn coming back from injury. So, Tristan Dare is another guy on the offensive line for Southlake Carroll that's really, really good. Southlake probably is going to be ranked number 1 or 2 in the state, in my opinion, coming back just off of what they had from last year. Of course, we got to see them play, but Southlake's going to give people trouble next year.
Yeah, I think the whole offense coming back.
They loaded.
That by itself is going to put them at number 1.
Yeah, they loaded. They loaded. But I'm gonna give you a couple more guys. Braden Bach, the tight end from Argyle, was impressive. And Argyle doesn't really throw the ball very much. And this is a guy that started to pick up in recruiting since the offseason started. We're talking about a guy that's about 6'5", about 240. They don't throw him the ball a lot, but he every bit of footage that I've seen in the offseason, I got to see him up close and personal today. Jeremy Cooper from North Crowley. There's a tight end that they don't use a lot. Listen, this kid is super athletic and he got some dog in it.
That's
You know what I'm
the
saying?
thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't, he didn't get a lot of balls, but every time I've seen him, he's always been one of those guys that plays at a high level. Zachary Turner looked good today, so did Ace and Theus. The kid from Arlington Bowie, Kedrick or Sunday Brown. He liked that. You know what I'm saying? He
What
might
he
not be
play? What he play?
he play in the slot or receiver for Arlington Bowie.
Yeah, we saw him play.
Yeah, he can play. He can play. He was probably one of the better receivers, in my opinion, out there today. Just getting in and out of his breaks, his shiftiness in space. He was almost unguardable. And Trent Yancey didn't drop a ball today. Didn't drop a ball.
Duncanville, D-Ville.
Don't sleep on Duncanville, and KJ Ford and Landon Barnes look really good today. So Duncanville's gonna be loaded. Coming back this year.
Yeah, because GP was talking about they got some old linemen coming up that's gonna be
right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But I mean, those pieces they got with Ace and Theus and Zachary Turner and Trent Yancey, they all three coming back, and they all three look good today. You know what I'm saying? When they shuffle out the quarterback position, that'll give them some stability. And then Braylon Edwards has been like one of the top recruits in the state in this offseason, the safety corner for Duncanville, which I think he's one of the best DBs in the state.
Absolutely. Oh, that's why I asked GP about him, about Braylon. Because, and we're going to get Leneric on next time we bring another parent on, because I like the path that he took his son, as far as like they don't do nothing. Like you don't see them at the camps, and you won't see them on the 7-on-7 circuit. Like you got to go to the game. You got to go to the game, and that's all you need to see. And it's working though, and I like the fact that it's working for him, because that sets a precedent. Now you can get it that way. And to me, it's the exact opposite, because now everybody get their hype off of 7-on-7 and camp, and the Friday night film don't even look that great.
Well, here's the thing, and I have a chance to be on both sides of this in the off season with 7-on-7 and camps. You have to use 7-on-7 as the correct vehicle for you, and if it don't translate from there to Friday nights, then you're not using it correctly. It has to translate. Nobody's saying that it's solely made off of 7-on-7, but if you can package them together and make it work for you when you're a skill guy, then that elevates you. I mean, a lot of these guys, the Brock boys, Booby, Corey, all of those guys play. I saw them regularly on the 7-on-7 circuit, but also those guys train in the off season as well. They also run track. They play other sports as well. So you just can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to be multi-dimensional when it comes to, it's building your resume. You package it all together, and then you come out with the complete package. You know what I'm saying? Look, I mean, we saw the emergence of Quentin Gibson this year. Quentin Gibson was like that the year before, but he was the backup quarterback, and he was kind of a guy that got jet sweeps and things. I saw Quentin Gibson on the 7-on-7 circuit doing the same things that he was doing when he got a chance at North Crowley. But they put the ball in his hands and featured him enough to where he was able to put up those numbers. And then the guy is just supremely athletic as well. Some of that stuff he wake up out of bed with. So you have to have all those intangibles. It's how you use it. Now, if you just go out there to just, look fly, jump in a bunch of beds of blocks and stuff like that, then you're not using it the right way. If you're going out there to actually get some work in and work on your craft, and then it also depends on who's seeing you as well. You have to have the right eyes on you. So all of those things work hand in hand, but it's how you use it.
Yeah. I know Willow talking to GP about D lines and how you grade them. I saw a lot of standouts. Now I didn't see many defensive tackle standouts. I also saw all the ends. Were there any interior D linemen that stood out?
I mentioned Kyron Hayward from Denguy. He's probably one of the top 2027, three techniques or defensive line, if you want to call him that. Also, Xavier Fleming from Louisville also was one of those guys as well. I mean, the edge guys are going to because they get more sacks. These guys take up a lot of space and they do the grunt work. But, Kyron Hayward is one of those guys in 2027 that, you watch the film and you see it, real strong, just brute strength in the middle. And if he wanted to get sacks, he could, but I don't know if that's the way they play, his position. They want him to control it because I think God plays kind of a 3-4 look. So, you got to control that. You got to, on the nose guard, you got to control and whoop that center's head the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So you might be limited on the flash plays, but Kyron Hayward is a guy. You know what I'm saying? And he was probably one of the top interior guys today.
What about the Richardson D lineman? Because I don't heard so much about. And then come to find out, Holloway got two of them. They got one on the offensive side, like 6'7" or whatever, and they got this D lineman at Richardson. I got to go to a Richardson game next year.
Yeah,
this guy supposed to be like he's like a highly recruited cat.
Yeah, man, he got a difficult last name. You talking about Jasper Knuckle?
Well, that's the offensive guy. I'm talking
that's
the offensive guy.
The defensive guy. I haven't seen a lot of him. You know what I'm saying? But I saw Jasper today, and he looked the part. He's one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you a guy up in Richardson that I saw last week at a 707 tournament for Berkeley High School, and that's DeQuan Dunn. He liked that. I mean, he was almost unguardable. He's a 2026 guy. He plays DB and a wide receiver for Berkeley. And he's I think he's sitting at about 20 offers. This may be a guy that a lot of people don't know about, but you need to look that name up. You know what I'm saying?
What's his name again?
DeQuan Dunn.
DeQuan Dunn. Okay, I have
what
seen
class
that
is
name.
he?
2026.
Yeah, I have seen that name.
Hey, we're talking about a kid that's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if a lot of people got a chance to see him last year, but this is a game that y'all should pull up and see him play when maybe they playing a quality opponent. But he's like that. He was almost unguardable. He probably got my MVP if we had an MVP out of the tournament last week. He was just killing people. You know what I'm saying, and making it look easy. You know what I'm saying. If you go untouched, it may say something about the DBs maybe weren't that good in coverage, but if you go untouched and make a 10-yard or 20-yard run at 7-on-7, you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? And this dude was like that. You know what I mean?
I saw Jason Witten's son got an invite.
Yeah,
is
Cooper Witten.
Now is he the athlete or DB or
So Cooper Witten is a safety, but he probably gonna grow into a linebacker. He has that linebacker in-box safety build, but with good cover skills. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of those guys that stood out today. That was the first time I saw him in person. I've seen a lot of his tape, but he's real big physically, and he got great hips. I was real impressed with his ability to flip his hips and turn and run. He had a couple of batted balls and coverage. Some fast guys out there. He was playing safety today. So, Cooper Witten's one of those guys that's going to start to climb up the rankings too as well.
He have an older brother too, right?
He got an older brother. That's right.
Yeah. And he graduated or he going to be a senior?
I think he's going to be a senior. Jason Witten was there today.
Okay.
He was there watching his sons today.
Oh, both of them was out there?
Cooper was the guy that I saw today. I didn't see the other son. I saw Jason Witten walk in late towards the end.
Okay. But yeah, he looks huge, man. I don't know how big he is, but Jason, they ain't taking no days off from the weight room.
I think genetics plays a part in that too. He's muscled up, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks good. You know what I'm saying? But he's a guy with great feet too. Jalen Powell looked great today too. He didn't drop many balls as well from Paris Episcopal. And Alistair Miles from Kaufman, I was real impressed with him.
Yeah, I like that, man. I noticed that. Anybody else got something on that? Oh, yeah. Jalen Powell, the Michigan commit.
Yes. Yeah.
From Paris Episcopal.
Yes.
Hey, man, I've been watching. I follow his mom on Twitter. Well, we follow each other. But, yeah, she be posting some of his workouts and stuff like that, man. That dude be losing cats, dog.
Well, he's such a polished route runner. But JP is strong. If you ever look at it and watch the tape, his ability to, use his hands, off the snap and get off press coverage, and he can beat you deep, and he can win on the 50-50 ball. Michigan is getting a good one. This guy, I mean, Coach Carr, you probably saw a lot of him already too, but I think he could go in and play early at Michigan, depending on how they use him. But I saw him today, and I hadn't seen him since I had my media day. And he's put on probably about at least 10 pounds of muscle. You know what I'm saying? So, Michigan is getting one out of the state of Texas that I think a lot of other colleges probably, he's a 20, I think about 25, 26 offer guy, but committing to Michigan early says that Michigan really got a good one. A lot of times these guys from the state of Texas have been going to Ohio State, the Oregons and things like that, going out of state when it comes to these guys. So Michigan's getting a great one in Jalen Powell. He looked good today. I think he had maybe one drop, but he didn't have any drops if it was in his bread basket. He didn't drop anything, and just his route running was polished too as well.
Yeah. How big is he? Is he about what, 6'1", 6'2"? Or
yeah, he about 6'1". Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good, man. If Michigan can hold on to him, they gonna get a steal. I just got a feeling. You know how it go, man.
Yeah.
You gonna blow up, and everybody else is gonna really put the pressure on.
Yeah.
But you know what? He might make the right decision. He going up there with a great quarterback. Michigan got a great quarterback from this past year.
Right.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
As a receiver, you got to look at that. Who's going to be throwing you the football? Because that's one of the positions where you have to wait on somebody to get it to you. You got to think about that when you're looking at a school, where you going.
All right, man. I got one more. Everybody want to fall asleep, and I ain't.
No, wait a minute. Hold up. J-Mac while ago, Mark, I know you done caught this at least a couple times. Hey guys, y'all got anything? Man, I was thinking about.
Because I'm looking at. You know what? I will admit I overlooked you because I'm sitting here looking at these other two falling asleep, and I'm like, I gotta go to a doctor appointment tomorrow. The doctor told me get 8 hours sleep before I come, so I ain't tripping. We all
ain't nobody falling asleep.
So go ahead, Pat. I'm gonna let you go, but Pat, you go right after this. I just want to throw this name out there. My Waxahachie DN Clausen. Tell me how you look.
I ain't gonna lie. I lost my train of thought. So you got to check back. I was funny. I had a couple of questions go with J-Mac.
Like, hey, you should have both on. Because you know what? I be trying to keep that dead silence.
The dead silence.
Yeah, I be trying to keep it out. So if you don't say nothing, I just keep talking.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. J-Mac did it in about 0.1 second. He didn't that was hilarious. I'm gonna cut that up into
the next day of silence. Y'all gonna be hearing the theme song. So go ahead. So talk to us about Clausen.
All right. Hey, I saw a Red Oak player on there, a safety. I think it's class 2027. Do you know anything about what Red Oak running out there? It was a safety. I think class 2027. That's supposed to be a big time.
Oh, you talking about my guy Dylan? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. He's one of those guys, baseball kid as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think this is going to be the year where you start to hear his name ring a little bit more. We've always known about Taz and Quick Six, Braden Robinson, as well as those guys over there. But he's one of those guys that's going to be, he's going to have a big year, I think, in the 2027. The 2027 class in Texas is loaded from top to bottom.
Yeah, bro. I think 2026 and 27. Let me ask you this: what is the position group? Because I'm looking at offensive linemen as being an impressive group. Hell, you got two of them, one in 26 and one in 27.
Yep. Yeah, Swanson looked good today as well. You talking about Brian Swanson? He looked good today. I talked to him a little bit. He's a guy that we all saw. We were when we were covering Sock. He was just he just mauls people. You know what I'm saying? And his strength at the point of attack is just unbelievable. A guy that can really control the line of scrimmage, and it's the reason I think Sock's gonna be back. Levon Morton, you mentioned Sock. He looked good today as well. You know what I'm saying? Catching the ball out of the backfield. He's one of those guys returning for Sock that's going to be, at the top, probably one of the top rushers coming back in the DFW.
Okay, speaking of sock, have you seen a sock quarterback on the circuit? You know, that's the intriguing question for the
I
Metroplex.
have not. I have not. When I was at State, I watched a couple of guys warm up, younger guys that I'm sure that I didn't know his name yet, but I liked the way he threw the football. He was wearing number 15, I think. So I'm not sure
Okay.
what his name is, but there's a freshman over there that I saw, and I think he was on the sideline as well, and I hadn't gotten his name yet. Yeah, thank you, Wig David. Wig David. He's talking about Dylan McGee from Red Oak, Pat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's who you're talking about. I knew his first name. I
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
think of his last name. But Dylan McGee is one of those guys at Red Oak. But I do not know what's going on in soccer. I haven't been over there yet. But when they go around to spring, I usually make my rounds and see what they got going over there. But I think soccer is going to be soccer. It don't matter as long as they got that coaching staff over there. I think that, not saying it don't matter who the quarterback is. I'm talking about the program. You know what I'm saying? As a whole, I think it's gonna have those guys sitting right back in the state championship again. It's one of those things that the coaching staff over there just breeds success, and when you build a program like that, it's what keeps the program going over there at Sox. So I expect them to be right back, in the playoffs and contending for a state title again this coming up year.
Yeah, super impressed with the O line, and I'm noticing a lot of O linemen on the list for 26 and 27.
Right.
It seems like it's more of them than D tackles.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to look at it like everything is built in the trenches. Without the trenches, you're not successful. I mean, if you look at all of the guys that won, all the teams that won state, North Crowley, even Randall had a really good offensive line this year. You know what I mean? So Westlake had a pretty good offensive line this year, heading up until they got to state. Smithson Valley had a really good offensive line, and Highland Park had a really good offensive line, and so did South Lake Carroll. So, it starts in the trenches with these guys. I know we all see the glitz and glamour, and we look at the skill positions because they make all the big plays, but without those big fellas up front, without that tenacity, they don't win those games.
Yeah, shout out Turntine at North Crowley. That boy beast too.
No doubt.
Highly ranked. Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell you another kid, Khalil Sanago. I had a chance to see him a few weeks ago last month at a camp. That's a kid that's shooting up the ranks at an offensive line in 2026. He's a guy that's going to probably be, a power forward guy. Definitely a guy that's shooting up the recruiting rankings over there in the Mansfield area.
No doubt.
Hey, what y'all want to know about Bryce Gilmore?
Bryce Gilmore. Oh, that name sounds familiar, but I haven't seen
Where
him
you
this
from?
offseason.
James throwing out names like he a 6-star.
I think he's at let me see. I think he's at let me look the name up right quick. I got you.
No, James supposed to give us some information. He throwing out names like you just he from Prosper. No wonder.
Well, Prosper got 3 or 4 linemen up there. I know what he's talking about when he said Prosper. Yeah, I didn't see him today, but I've seen him. He's along with Zayden Crimpin was there today. The other Prosper offensive lineman. I didn't see Bryce Gilmore today, but Bryce Gilmore is a guy that's real stout. 6'4", 6'5". I mean, I know Prosper didn't win a lot of games or make it out of the first round, but you can go and take any one of those guys and put them on the offensive line at the next level. You know what I'm saying? And I did see Zayden Crimpin today from Prosper. He was one of the top linemen, in my opinion. He's a guy that's Michigan, SMU, Texas, TCU. Just pick a school and he's got it. He's got almost 50 offers on that offensive line.
Dang.
Already.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta ask about the homegirl. Was Lil D there? Was Lil D there from the D tackle from North Crowley?
No, he was not. I didn't see Lil D today.
We gotta get him there. We gotta get him there.
Yeah. Well, I think the Under Armour is a selection process, or they invite, based on that. You know what I'm saying? But I did not see Big D today. That's what they call him, Big D.
Big D. I'm sorry, Erica. I said Lil D.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like 15. I mean,
yeah. No, but listen, he He been coming on. I met him probably when he was in about the 7th grade over there at FBU, and been following him ever since. Talking about
No
Derek
doubt.
Gleason.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was true. I mean, he was the MVP of the state game. How could he not get you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. No. Listen, man.
Hey, another one in North Crowd. Yeah, another one in North Crowd to look for is Tank Wilkins. His son Chase Wilkins gonna be up there. He'll be a freshman this year, boy, big. And he said he been working out with the varsity since he was in the 8th grade. So that's another name to look out for.
Man, listen, North Crowley is gonna be loaded again. They got some action over there. You know what I'm saying? I expect Coach Gates and those guys to be right back in the mix. They got turn time. You mentioned him on the offensive line. I can't wait to see Keontae Ingram be able to take the mantle on his own. You know, he was one of the guys sharing time with Cornelius and Daniel Bray, but now he's the man. You know what I'm saying? I expect him to take off big time this season.
Now, back to Clausen, man. I know he was there, right?
Yeah, he was there.
How did the man Clausen look over there from Waxahachie?
He did really well. He's one of those guys with that quickness. You know, if you don't get a hand on him early, he's gonna be by you. And then he chases down plays from sideline to sideline. You know what I mean? So high motor guy, but just a guy that has great being and twitchy off the edge. You know, he's gonna be one of those guys that's I mean, I know you were very high on Waxahachie's D line this year. And he's gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the man this year. Those other guys graduated. Irvin and what's my guy number 10's name? I think they graduated. I know Jacob Irvin graduated. Yeah. Pointer, K Pointer. Yeah, they graduated. So Camilla Clausen gonna be the guy this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, Willow over here he fighting. Batman already fell off.
No, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting. I'm just listening. Guys, I mean, we talk recruiting.
And I know why you're struggling. This is why you're struggling right there. You
out
there hanging with the soccer heads. You out there hanging with the Manchester United folks, and now you're sleeping. I went and hung out with the Manchester United folks, but I went out there to strategize. See, there's a guy over there on 3600 Marsalis that's been talking this foolishness. Calling himself a guru and all type of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to go get tips from pros. So I went and hung out with the Manchester U people today, man.
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's a true story, Mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As I stood there, I just figured a fight was gonna break out at any moment.
Yeah, I see you on your soccer game. I see it all. I see you.
Yeah.
Look out. Yeah, he was chilling, man.
Yeah, you got to get
the guy in the middle. He didn't tell you nothing. I'm sorry. That guy in the middle, he didn't have nothing good to say. I'm looking at him.
No, he actually had a lot of good stuff he was putting me on game to. And the dude on the right played professionally for like 11 years.
Okay.
So I went and got some. Listen, I'm tired of this little guy that's been hanging around in the chat. You know what I mean? TODD. He's trying to break up. He is trying to break up the crew. He has been negative. Ain't nothing positive came out of his mouth.
He got Lamar hanging on. He doing like the last guy that was hurt.
And he got Lamar thinking that they're
Lamar hanging on. And Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying. And Wednesday, Todd dissed Lamar for Grimes. Now they're a tag team talking about they're gonna take out our crew. Now I cannot wait to the 27th of February. That's all I'm saying.
So
I'm taking one day at a time.
Let me get this straight. So are you saying that Coach Todd coaches soccer?
I don't know what. Listen, let me tell you something.
He played Hills that night.
Yeah, that day. Okay. But let me tell you something. Ain't no football coach gonna beat me coaching soccer. You understand that?
Okay.
I'm a soccer coach now. Okay. You know what I mean? My record says I know what the hell I'm doing.
Okay, for sure.
You know what I mean? We 6-2 now. We took one on the chin this past Saturday, and it's my fault.
Yeah.
That we took that. I got focus. I got a lost focus. You know what I mean? So that's my fault. My kids suffer because of that.
Sure.
So I had to go back and get back to the roots. So that's why I went and hung out with my people at Manchester U.
For sure.
Flew over there. We watched it up in the keg. You know what I mean? We watched the pit. They played London. You know what I mean? You see the vernacular. You hear it coming back.
Yeah.
Mark, I know you're impressed. I know.
Yes,
So you know.
J Mac, one more guy that looked good was Legend Howe from DeSoto as well. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, he was there.
He was there. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. He did. He spent it very well today. He looked real good. I think he's gonna put up some big numbers at DeSoto this year.
Okay. We'll see.
How did he look size wise?
I couldn't really tell if he put on any weight. I just his footwork and his ability to spin it. He made some very good throws. He moved well through the bag drills. They sent him through all of these quarterback drills and stuff. And I saw him go through that, and he spent it today. Now he didn't come out with the MVP, but like I said, DeAndre Williams, Nelson Peterson, Zephyr Cry, Angelo Randa, Legend, Maximus Denson. DFW area quarterbacks that look good, and you can also throw Kavion Bryant from Palestine, Westwood. I mean, if you hadn't seen this guy, I'm telling you, he's in the 2027 class, but I think before he graduates, he's probably going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the state, in my opinion.
Okay. There we go. That's going to be interesting to see because I know they're going to probably I was talking to Singleton. Singleton was funny because Singleton was talking about the way North Crowley used Gibson. And I knew where he was going with it. But like I say, man, it's harder when you got 3 or 4, top receivers. You can't feature one guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easier at North Crowley because Gibson pretty much was the guy. Now I would like to see them throw it to the tight end a little bit more, but Gibson was that guy, so it was a lot easier. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I brought up Jeremy today, because I met him as a freshman, and I thought he was a guy that can definitely go get it. And I think he'll get some more balls this year. But they loaded at receiver. They got Champ Mays over there as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna get some balls.
And he might replace Gibson. Who knows? They might just keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing funny about that though, Mark. That same team, Champ, Jalen, not Jalen. What's the big tight end? Jeremy. They all played and Gleason and the running back.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple more of them guys, they all played at Pac Prime. They beat Boobian for state. I mean, for the game to go to state.
Yeah. Pac Prime was always competing with DA for bragging rights, and Fort Worth and Dallas, coming out. And all of those kids are playing on Friday nights now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's big, man. I don't know, J Man. Can you let Todd in?
No, I'm gonna go to bed. My doctor said my stress level need to be low. I gotta go take tests tomorrow, blood pressure, all that good stuff. So y'all not gonna rub my blood pressure up with foolishness tonight. I'm gonna get my 9 hours sleep. I ain't even going. I'll get 9 hours of good sleep. Feel free to do the people that have spoken as the post game show, and you and Todd can go back and forth to 8 in the morning. It don't make me no difference. But I'll be honest.
I don't go to work tomorrow.
I know it. Y'all ain't got nothing to do. Y'all ain't got nothing to do. So, and here go Lamont. We don't need Jerry, bruh. You couldn't make Swagger show. Sit down somewhere.
I'm just trying to figure out before you go, J Man. When did all this turn to weed?
Yeah, well, cause he hey man, Lamont likes to jump on the back of the truck and ride out. So he'll jump on Todd talking about we don't support. Like, when do fans got a right to come on the show? I thought fans supposed to support. What they got to do with coming out?
So you saying Lamont was like rerun at the start of what's happening when he was chasing the truck?
I'm just saying. I was just like, These cats, they be trying to like, you know, you don't let us on, we don't support you. Well, you know, ain't nothing I can do about that. If that, because I know you don't do everybody else like that. You just want to come over here and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. That's how they treat you, man. You know, like we in a 1920 gangster movie. It's just racketeer. They gonna bust your windows out or something. You know, they gonna bust your windows out if you don't let them know.
Oh, my boy said racketeer, boy.
Yeah, pay for protection type stuff, man.
They're gonna extort the dub. How you gonna extort the dub and like OTC make it?
Yeah, like why I ain't seen that one time nobody go over there and say, send me the link, OTC, or we crash it out. I ain't seen that one time.
Y'all let it quit, man.
Boy.
Off the chain.
But you want to come over here, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is where we at right now, J Mac. I just want you to know.
When do y'all play? When do y'all play? I do want to dedicate a show to just y'all two. When do y'all play?
We do play on the 27th of February.
Well, that's next week. So yeah, we got time. We'll let y'all talk y'all know next week then.
You know. Listen, right now I got bigger things to worry about, man. I got games between now and then we need to prepare for. You know.
Yeah.
We got to get back to doing things the right way.
Yeah. That's dope.
Sure, man.
That's dope.
Mark, I appreciate you, brother. Once again, I appreciate you, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Man, for sure. You know, if y'all call, I'm coming, man. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't gone somewhere.
Yeah, yes, man. Thanks for making this the longest recruiting show in the history of sports.
No, we did. We did 140. I'm proud of that, dog. Cause we had G, and it was informative. We got a chance to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Not too many shenanigans, even though we had two rogues trying to come in and
yeah, nah, man. Shout out to my guy GP. He was there today, but you know what I'm saying? When you want to know about guys in around the state of Texas, especially in DFW, you know, GP is one of those guys, and you know, he does his homework, you know what I'm saying? And he knows these guys, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that's the difference between you know, him and some other guys. He actually gets eyes on these kids. He watches film, you know, religiously, you know what I'm saying? I've been around him for a while, so you know, he's one of those guys that's been, you know, in the game for a minute.
Yeah, he is, man. I like GP, man. He got a lot of knowledge on him.
No doubt.
J-Mac, before you leave tonight, can you do me a solid and put up baby hair Todd?
Oh shit. Pat, send me that picture.
I think Pat gone.
Pat gone. Oh my God. You right, dog. I'm gonna get that picture because I'm gonna keep baby hair Todd around.
I don't know why you didn't bring baby hair Todd on the night.
Keep baby hair Todd around, dog. I gotta keep that picture around. Matter of fact, I'm cropping that picture to where it's just baby hair Todd. That's
baby hair Todd. We need to make baby hair Todd need a cartoon.
Oh man, say man, y'all to quit, man. Stall him out, Debo.
Hey man, Todd and Lamar been real disrespectful.
Yeah, they've been eager tonight, man.
No
they've been real disrespectful tonight, man. It's sad, you know what I'm saying? And you know, but you know, that's how we are.
That's all right, though. Oh, never mind. I'll see you on 27, partner. This is real. We ain't for play. Hey, we ain't for play over here, homeboy.
Who got the home field advantage? Y'all are.
They knew we on the spread. We're taking it to the cliff.
You taking it to the hood then? Okay.
Man, listen, my kids already know about the cliff. I got parents that's from the cliff. We ain't nobody scared.
No doubt. Yeah, y'all gonna have to pull up. You're gonna have to pull up and do interviews and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, we ride
style for real.
Let me tell you something. The best thing that happened to us this week was to lose to a team we beat earlier this year. You know why? because that put us on notice for here on out. When we play teams that we played before, we getting ready for the 27th.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Ain't no football coach gonna beat me, partner.
Man. He busy doing other stuff. He ain't gonna be on that sideline. If he is, he gonna be sitting back there on the training table. He ain't gonna be coaching nothing.
No, he gonna have to coach. He gonna have to coach, or he gonna get put on blast.
Man, he gonna pull up, man. It's Coach.
Ain't nobody use you for no marketing purpose, Ty. Like this is real. You call this out. Well, nobody thinking about you on no soccer pitch. You said CBL versus you the guru. Okay, guru. All right.
Man, he gonna
appreciate it, boy. See what I have to go through now. That's why I'm gonna get off here. If I can have a stress-free night, I can just go to bed.
Man, y'all good, man.
It's just gonna go back and forth and get worse. Like Todd just be back there making up stuff to say, and Lamont be over there echoing everything and adding it.
Just
shout out to Lamont. Man, shout out to Lamont. That's my guy too. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's the too big. That's the too big MC. Him and Hammer.
Cats right there, dog. Somebody right, man. Somebody right there.
Already.
Wait, we appreciate y'all.
Man, for sure. Holler at me anytime.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Dub. Hey,
watch this.
Hey, number one Dub.
Football talk is a big hit. Sunday nights to Wednesday nights, we striking a match cause we lit. Y'all know the name, we call it the Dub. On Friday nights, it feel like a club. Getting that VIP treatment on the sideline, they showing us love. Great interviews, go hugs, put in work, go good. Texas youth and high school talking to page on Facebook, hold up. Coach trying to stand on the scene, giving advice, he knew what he mean. James Mack, he be on the scene, rocking the gear, it's so clean. We rise and go easy, off the easy, push easy. With my steppers, our special kids, making plays ain't so easy. Trying to win, we so greedy. All our fans are so needy, cause they need to hear them talk about that club. We do it for the dub. 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 That GF dub.